Hello, everybody, and welcome into Post-University Rocket League, where we've got the Fall 2025 ECAC Quarterfinals happening right now for Division D. I'm joined by PyroJ, and Sir PyroJ, we're heading right to the pitch.
We are. The brakes are gone. The gas pedal is down full throttle. Thank y'all for tuning in as this matchup here, top 8 of ECAC, was a little bit delayed. And the players in the lobby was a game of Rocket League in of itself. Bearlight, they're here. And we've got our match finally underway. It is UKY versus, of course, our Post Eagles.
We've been wanting to see this matchup all year long. Haven't had the chance or opportunity to, so we'll see how things play out, shake up. Obviously, you know, Kentucky weren't having to go through a play-in to get to this point, so their season a little bit stronger as far as the win-loss column, but you can never hold them to it when it comes to playoff time. It becomes a whole different ball game at the end of the day.
It really does. It's do or die in the playoffs, and Post University did not have that bye week. They know do or die very well. A 4-3 showing against WVU Potomac State in that Game 7 victory. That thriller, that reverse sweep that we saw. How about that, Bearlight? So we know this team is made of grit and ready to honor that ability to win yet again tonight.
Right now, we'll see Kentucky for the first time here on the Post University channel. They kind of hesitated a little bit. There is Klowa to start things up here for Post University as Blitz will play it into the zone, trying to maintain that pace that Post University has put in the first minute and a half here. As now Wedge Thunder on this one will make it off the corner. That's a great angled shot, but it goes a little bit wide. But Orcus that close to make it a 1-0, and the pressure's still on.
Yeah, Orca's gonna wonder how that one did not go in. I mean, that was nearly perfect, but Rocket League isn't always just perfect. There's some imperfections, and we have Post University hitting it every which way, and then ending up dry on the back line. First one in for Kentucky.
Yeah, just able to catch Klowa before they could get back to that short side post. So Post University, they were that close to breaking through themselves, so just allowing that one still 100% great here at the same time. You want to keep things going there. Orcus almost has that one as well, and the shot just a little bit high from Wedge, but right back into the zone here from Kentucky as they do get a touch, but he'll set it up for Blitz. They're on the counterattack, up to BigSpence, but he wasn't able to connect, but the follow-up is available there off the post, but by the time Klowa got there, Wedge Thunder got across.
Most devastating perspective there was from BigSpence in the net, watching the ball travel towards their opponent's goal and just not be able to do anything with it, having to watch the savior come through just in time. And so that keeps things standing at 1-0. Nearly is equalized, though, on the pitch from the sidewall. Post University not giving up on that close chance earlier. There's the shot off the rebound, ends up going wide. So I'll tell you what, Post cooking up just about everything they need to get this tying goal in, including some of these clears.
Yeah, that one's gonna go backwards though. Wedge will have to be careful, does not get the touch. It's available there in the box, but a touch away once again by the defense of Kentucky as BigSpence will punch it in. Gas pedal still down on the floor here as Klowa will bank it off the corner and Blitz will follow. That shot had some good velocity, but Orcus, right place, right time, able to get a big clear. And that one will bounce towards net, but cleaned up by Klowa on the other side.
I do like Post positioning on these counterattacks. They've got someone ready to catch the ball on the downwards clear. However, the midfield battle, that war is being waged by Kentucky. They've got some players ready to intercept those downfield passes, and it's making Post their job very difficult for those counterattacks to be lethal. Got a minute 20 still to put it all together, as really one goal is needed in this game one to keep it competitive.
Blitz knows this as he will then spike in. Here, BigSpence will play it high. By the time Blitz got there, Wedge again in a good spot. So positionally sound are Kentucky Whites. They've been in opportunistic places. You see Klowa tap it over to the corner now and post. You'll see them start to amp up a little bit of their pressure as time goes on, as that urgency starts to set in, knowing that you're down to under 45 seconds here at this point in time. But they got to defend this one too, and Blitz a little bit late to get to it, but he was confident to get it off the back wall and try to start this upward offensive momentum here for Post University as they will force Orcas to the corner.
Yeah, you start to see that momentum getting put together here. All that's needed is that good infield pass. Blitz, unfortunately ahead of the ball, does get the bump to go, and the possession kept and maintained by Klowa, but it'll be another shot from Kentucky off the backboard. Blitz able to pick up midfield boost, goes for the shot, remains under it. Backwards pass over to Klowa is right in the field for Kentucky. That might be the last clear they need as they find empty space. Orcas and Wedge Thunder in position to kill this ball. And off one more drop, that'll be the game. Thunder to the ground. And okay, there it is. Kentucky put this game to bed.
That was a little bit close. They got a little bit risky there too. Post University went end-to-end with this Kentucky team, but Kentucky White at the end of the day will take that game number 1 win. So at the end of the day, you want to be able to kind of break that third man, just stronghold. It seemed like Kentucky had on Post University. They weren't able to accomplish it. You saw the 3 saves from Wedge Thunder, and that was a large portion of why they got away with that game 1 victory. But obviously a very close series. It's what we anticipated coming in, so glad to see it kind of holding true here in game number 1.
And I think it'll be made closer if we start converting on those counterattacks. For me, Post Eagles, they had everything needed. The good looks downfield on the clears from their own end. It's just the shots ended up being missed. And sometimes that happens in game 1 and it gets cleaned up and sharpened in games 2, 3, and thereafter. So I'm still feeling pretty optimistic about Post chances moving into this series. Start getting those shots to go, and we got ourselves a game.
Certainly want to dial in here at this point in time. A little bit of confusion to start this one off. It was scheduled at an 8 p.m. Eastern time game play match start, but at the end of the day, some things fall through. Communication lacking a little bit. And for that reason, we push that down, but you have to be able to get that out of your brain and start getting things going here. I think you can safely say that they did. I mean, both teams did seem relatively prepared. Sure, there's a couple mistakes, but that's going to happen no matter what quarterfinalist matchup you find yourself in.
That's right, whether it's going to be to lack of preparation or just nerves. I mean, it's do or die in the playoffs. You are so close to top 4. With this win, you'll play that semifinals matchup, and then at the very least the third place matchup thereafter. So one step away being the top of your ECAC division. Post understand that pressure, and they're acting well for it. Or looks to convert in that goal for the Eagles.
Let's talk about threading the needle, because that's exactly what we saw here. As they press into the box, BigSpence draws and really attracts all 3 members of Kentucky on that short side post, and you're able to just kind of fit one in where it didn't look like there was much room. Great start here from Post University in game number 2.
Fantastic start. We'll see how it continues. It is a conversion off the kickoff already from Kentucky. It's getting Wedge Thunder. A full boost try off the backboard. It's quickly sputtered away, though, by Post as the pinch comes through. I like the extra momentum on the ball. Nearly gave Blitz the dunking chance. They'll be removed from the pitch, though, and on the other side of the field, Orcas is sniping the net.
Yeah, just a high flip, and BigSpence was out of boost. Otherwise, you see him challenge that, and he's pretty comfortable in being able to do so. But somebody has to be able to come back and support in that moment, or, at least be able to come and be prepared for that last touch and play the goal line. So it's just a decision that needs to happen a little bit quicker. But look off the kickoff, the opportunity, and Blitz will get one back and Post back on top.
Sometimes you got to maneuver through traffic for Blitz. He saw a lot of jumping cars, but at the end of the day, an open ball. And he found his way through that kerfuffle and in for the go-ahead goal.
Obviously, breaking through the chaos is the name of the game here tonight, clearly. They were able to manage that here. As Klowa is up on this one, I think he has a flip reset. He still faked it and drew 2 members, and the shot a low one. And BigSpence is able to step up into the box and put Post up by 2, their biggest lead of the series.
This is a tough angle to get here for BigSpence, but we always call him out from the elbow, right? From some side angle. No matter what way it's going to be, BigSpence will find the path to the net. 2-goal lead is going to seem comfortable for Post, but we've watched a little too much Rocket League to know that that's a safe lead, Bearlight.
honestly. Like, what's with the 2-goal leads and not ending up in a win? This is something that needs to be studied, like, instantly. But that's why you need to get another one. And then Post already on it, too, as Klowa will strike down, make it 4-1 here for Post University.
I don't know if there's a couple assistant coach roles open, but I think that was a good suggestion from us, Bearlight. Just get that 3-goal lead instead of 2, and look at that. Quick conversion from Post.
Listen, it's all we ask, Pyro, and I love it. You're open to suggestions. Makes the team great and obviously coachable. I mean, you know, Chixxa has obviously done a great job with this team and being able to refocus them after the season certainly didn't go as planned. Not in the ECAC, not in other competitions either. So get that bit of refocus to launch them in, get a reverse sweep. I mean, that doesn't really happen very frequently unless you have strong leadership.
That's a fact. This team has been as well on the upwards trend since the beginning of the season. So I think that showcases improvement and good study work and ability to be versatile. I like that backwards kind of reverse movement that we had in the net there. It's allowing for a defense rotation to stand firm for the moment. Backflip attempted from Wedge Thunder, but all that gets them is the victim of a demolition. Aerial play is made from Kentucky, but it doesn't seem to be enough to pull them back into this game quite yet.
Wedge Thunder, they've done enough to really throw him for loops from what we've seen compared to the last game. You know, he was there and pretty difficult to get around, maneuver around, but Post has found their way for sure. And of course, there was a couple of opportunities, like a kickoff goal, for example, that hasn't exactly contributed to that. But at the end of the day, most of the work has been showing some results, which isn't always happening. So, especially for Post, who had some unlucky breaks throughout the course of this season. So, definitely a good bounce back effort after the game number 1 didn't quite go their way. And I like that they're not letting up either. They're still finding each other with these passes, staying sharp for when the next game comes around, at least to hold on to this one, but also keeping the rest of the series in mind as well.
Oh yeah, especially with a long series here in playoffs, you want to hold that dominant spot for as long as you can. Listen, there's work to be done here for Kentucky to figure out what it looks like to have a stronger defense in front of Post, because this was vulnerable in game 1. It's just the shots weren't as accurate as they are in game 2. So the longer the Post can be successful with that measure, the better. The chance was misfired there from Post, so a little bit of a memory from game number 1, but the scoreboard doesn't seem to mind as we're trailing down that final minute, but that 3-goal lead still intact.
All this really just playing into the Post University style anyways. You want to be able to gather that lead, but then also keep them true as a defense, you know, trying to track down what can easily be one of the most deadly counterattacks in this division. So, you know, whether you like it or not, though, Kentucky will stick around. 22 seconds left here, so one kickoff goal away from actually making it interesting, as BigSpence wasn't able to quite get that far aside, and Blitz was diving as well. So Kentucky will certainly take that one, trying to boost some momentum of their own.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the kickoff tactic there. It was a hard cheat from Kentucky, but the third, able to pick up boost and ball, but relieve themselves from holding that ball. That makes it a little more difficult to score here. Blitz kicks off the backboard. Shot goes wide from Kentucky. That's going to lead to a Post win. So here we go. ECAC playoffs round 2 for the Post Eagles, and they'll find their first win in game number 2.
Good bounce back, holding on to it as well. Kentucky certainly threw some looks at them late. I liked what they were doing, actually, as Kentucky White towards the tail end of that game. Not only just gathering that one extra goal, being the last one to put a goal on the board, but their defense certainly sharpened up there as well. And then when you saw Post University coming at them, there was a scary look to potentially pull them back within 1 with about 12 seconds left, because they were very eager and hungry to get to the ball. So I like what the team was able to do at the tail end here. So it'll be up to Post University to
Yeah, listen, they earned that bye game for a good reason off of that regular season performance for the ECAC League of Kentucky. And this team as well that was fighting to the end. But for Post Eagles, I like that BigSpence kind of picked up the slack in game number 2. Full goal participation, 1 goal, 2 assists. Like, he was everywhere on that offensive attack. There's commitment to this team of Post. When you have a possession, they're not as lackadaisical. They're not as like, okay, we don't need this goal. We can just rotate safely. We can play around the ball. No, it's go time, right? That one shot that BigSpence had where the ball looked completely out of range to score, he went for it. And it was a slow roller, it was a light bouncer, but it went the distance and it was a goal. That to me shows a commitment of Post to trust in the teammates to get the goal every time that they have the chance to. That's right. That's right. And listen, I'm glad that we got the most exciting round 1 matchup as well. Look at those other sweeps there at the top side of that bracket. Come on, we don't bother with all that. Even this match will not be a sweep. 1 win on either side convinces us of the effectiveness for both teams tonight. They're ready to compete in the playoffs. Game 3's on, though, and Post are ready to double up on their wins.
Yeah, ready to get back into action for sure. As we maintain the connection here for mic volume back in order. Orcas had a great opportunity, but Klowa is going to get right back onto this one. An extra touch. I like that patience as well to play past a member of Kentucky. And the late flip. Get Blitz out to midfield, but really just handing away possession, and BigSpence not able to get that one either, but a botched shot here. Blitz still going to be awkward, though, and Wedge Thunder will punch it in. So Kentucky got lucky there after a bit of a blunder, but still gets the 1-0 lead.
They did indeed. And Usheri or Uxeri, I'm still trying to figure out the pronunciation on that one, but I think they're just going to call it a pass at the end of the day. You know, it's just a very calculated pass to their teammate. Unfortunately, Post couldn't be at that net in time, but off the kickoff, they certainly are ready to get back to it.
And Orcas gonna be challenged here by Klowa midfield. Blitz is already on it too. Actually left it there. Klowa, a crafty touch to get around him. The Blitz. Listen, it doesn't take some high velocity passes to get around sometimes. Sometimes you just need a little bit of touch passing.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like, no one expects that pass to be in front of the net, so realistically, should a Post player even be around the net to score there, as Blitz could have rotated out of the play after their 50 to get boost? No, but they decide to dedicate themselves to scoring, just in case that ball finds its way across the face of the net. This Post team is committed to getting goals on the board, and they show that early on here in Game 3.
That is a tight commitment by the third man as Wedge Thunder was on it. It'll pay off here for Kentucky. And sure, why not? I mean, stepped up at the exact right time. They saw Klowa kind of cherry picking, knew they would have numbers at 3-on-1 essentially, and BigSpence couldn't quite reach for it. So that's how Kentucky White will take this 2-1 lead with 3:35 left. And this series keeps going back and forth, Pyro. I love it.
Just how it should be here in the playoffs. The quarterfinals for sure. Wedge Thunder is a player that is really getting on fire as well. I like their sidewall play to coordinate the assist on the last goal. Now they're throwing power shots towards the net. This time Wedge Thunder not as accurate with the shot. Could have been a nice pass, but it is intercepted by Post. Ball bounces right off the corner there as Orcas sees it away with the flick off the dribble. BigSpence, full goal participation last game, wants to coordinate yet another one. Unable to do so as they're contested well here in the corner, but finally an infield ball chipped away towards the net, saved immediately by Orcas. Is going to be another chance as it's hit right to Klowa. They leave it for BigSpence. A ball off the backboard means a follow-up shot could occur, but Blitz only gets the demo.
This one's going to roll up the wall. Great play there from Klowa. Didn't put the shot on net, challenging the defender, but able to get it just out of arm's reach of the Post University waiting strikers. As Klowa now will turn and get it back out to midfield, but Orcas waits for it and will settle it down a bit. The 50-50 will actually favor Post University there at midfield, but then punch directly back in here from Kentucky as they leave nothing on the table as they did a little bit earlier. But Blitz is able to just win the race there and get a goal. Equalizer here with 2:13 left.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a big turnaround for Post because after the first half of this game, they were outshot, I think, 7-1. And on that last rotation, grabbed a couple. And now you've got the score from Blitz, true to their name, on that counterattack. This is a huge turn of events here in the second half for Post.
Great job. Not being complacent in these moments, but Wedge, great shot as well, but BigSpence comes up big. Still in harm's way, though. Blitz, a good turn as well. No boost, no problem. As he turns around and snags that one. And back out of the midfield, he'll go here, but Wedge Thunder, great control in the air. Right when I say that, though, he actually lost it. And BigSpence not quite there in time. Blitz will try to direct it, but now you got to look out the other way as they try and get to it, but Blitz runs it down. They just couldn't quite find the control on it, and that'll leave one off the board here from Kentucky. That looked like a sure thing.
I went trading back in Rocket League so Blitz can hand me that Fennec. I don't know how it's going 110% of the top speed compared to every other car. It beat all the defenders on the last counterattack, got the save there just in the nick of time. That's exactly the kind of player you want on your team to be the difference maker in terms of pace. This one, BigSpence going to be able to take care of because the speed on the ball just was not there. Off of the mistake, now Splits in a 1v1, gets the dribble, goes for the bump, but it is batted back well by UKY.
Yeah, and Blitz couldn't settle it down. I know he was eyeballing Klowa and saying, I got you, I'll set you up, but took a little bit too long to develop. The flip reset, he pulled down. A real opportunity to be able to use it. So this one will find his way to the Post University zone, and Klowa will look to control an air, but he ran out of boost, and the communication does come through. That'll allow Blitz to get to work. He tries to go corner and leave it for Klowa yet again, but that one set off an awkward sidewall, plus the demo. Still somehow Blitz gets back, but only to buy just a little bit of extra time as Kentucky goes back on top.
It's a tough one to witness here. You probably have a defender, maybe another layer of defense, but once you start getting demoed, once you realize we've got no boost there, it becomes a really hard case to sell that save is going to be made. Half a minute remaining here. There's still a chance for Post, especially when they get that clear off the kickoff. Post have to find a way now all the way to the other side of the field.
Klowa does a great job to at least give them an opportunity to work here, and this one bounces down. Klowa had the opportunity, couldn't get to it. Blitz now, it will pop high, but BigSpence couldn't get around to it, and it'll go all the way back down and around. 1 second left. You got to keep it in the air, and Wedge will actually do that for Post. So Klowa's going to catch and try to work forward, but Orcas found the exact right spot to put it down. Kentucky will take the 2-1 lead here in the series.
Yeah, you're seeing Kentucky really stabilize off of game number 2. I think they probably felt like they conceded too many goals in that game number 2. Too many easy ones. There were some slow bouncers that they just could have gotten in front of. And then when you look on the other side of game 3 for the shot taking of Kentucky, I mean, we're talking about 13 shots registered. That is more than double the side of the Eagles. They were especially successful in the shot taking in the first half of the game. So, you know, I'm looking right now at Kentucky, and they're a team that's ramping up pretty well. It's going to take a lot from the Eagles to make sure that this match remains balanced.
Yeah, they certainly got to keep it at bay for sure. I mean, it's certainly better than what we saw against the number 9 team in WVU Potomac, where it took them about 3 games to get warmed up, and then you started to see some progress. I mean, that was a little bit of a different story, so we'll see if Post University can kind of utilize this early pressure they've been able to find and keep themselves moving forward. It'll be a little bit easier than the last time around is all I'm trying to say here, but Kentucky did win the close one, which will matter. But Blitz is already up in a hurry. Looking to cause a little bit of damage here as well. Klowa will get around it. Off the back wall will bounce high. Chance for BigSpence, but wasn't able to connect, and that'll allow them to get out to center. Although Blitz waiting for him as well. A little bit awkward here, and Klowa now touches it back to BigSpence. Shot taken. That one goes high. Follow-up is going to be cleared by Kentucky.
And that was still a great setup for BigSpence. Again, hungry for these goals. So you saw the sharp angle attempted. That one ended up too sharp of an angle. But how about the passing play downfield? That one's so close for post. Nearly come away with that first goal, and they're still chomping at the bit. BigSpence up for the aerial try. That one's high. And Klowa has full boost to give this one another attack. Down off the crossbar in front of the net, and Klowa has the follow through for the goal.
Yeah, that was a big one for sure. You know, you don't see it going in at first, and you could kind of freak out or panic a little bit, but Klowa, no panic at all, goes directly to where he knows it's going to be, realizing that you have the better read than the defender in that moment. I like that ability to recognize that play, dive into the box, be able to get the first one on the board here for post.
And it wasn't just the goal, but it was the series of shots that we saw more so from Kentucky in the last game. Great to see crashing at the boards out here from post. Pressure means good business, but when you can split the seams like that, Wedge Thunder's gonna come away with one as well.
Yeah, talk about attacking the opponent's net here. Wedged right there, right place, and then just able to lay off that enough to hit it off the top side of his car and still put velocity on it to beat any would-be defenders anyways. And Kentucky just as quick as they were up against it in a 1-0 fashion. Well, they're able to equalize here. Orcus will look to play high. A great extra touch to put it past Blitz and use a lot of his boost. And BigSpence wasn't able to handle it, but Klowa to it. A challenge by Wedge Thunder that should allow Spence to get onto it. And that's exactly what we see now. As Orcus and Usheri could not decide who was going to get to it next, but their combination at midfield will throw it towards the Post University side and leave a good one here from Orcus, but great recovery, recognition, and speed there from Klowa to get it out.
And Klowa's still on the ball, the fervor to have these consecutive touches and then attempt to redirect goal. I think Klowa in game number 4, right? It means business on this one. So let's see more of that kind of tenacity on the ball. Blitz leaves that one go. Klowa tries to get the angle one again, forcing the hand of the defense to make that save.
I see what you're saying, though. Like, Klowa does feel hungrier. You know, he looks like a man that's on a mission, whether it be the pre-match antics that were happening, or I don't know what it is, but Klowa certainly has come out in this game number 3 especially, and has been a menace. You can tell by the way he's playing, the way he's controlling the cars. He's been able to really control the pace of play as well. That one's laid loose, though. Shot taken, but again, Klowa able to swat it away.
This one should be easily handled by BigSpence. Cleared downfield. We get the boost steal and the ball. Pass off the backboard. The shot's there from Klowa. And unfortunately, it'll be a difficult read for Blitz as the defender did get a piece of it. Post having to start from the beginning once again. Liking the fact that they're trying to punish Kentucky on some of their mistakes, though. They are missing the ball in the corner. They're missing their own boost. And it's up to players like Post to take that boost, to take that ball away from them.
Blitz is right there. Good read as well. Realizing they couldn't turn the corner the way they wanted, and knowing only one option here, Klowa's shot on target. Maybe caught him by surprise a little bit, but they still were able to chop at it and get it out. Orcus side flip that you don't want. Good fake and patience here by Blitz, knowing the 1v1's there and try to pull the trigger. And once again, catch them off guard, but a good reaction time here from the Kentucky defense. As Blitz on it too, but his touch, ill-advised. Just wasn't able to quite get it where he wanted to, and now Kentucky left with a little bit of opportunity of their own. But by the time they're able to get back to it and try the flip reset, now you've got Klowa coming back your way. Some end-to-end Rocket League. We love Pyro.
Oh, we do. It's the kind that keeps you on the edge of your seat, but it also makes you realize this might be the most important minute of the match. Could there be a big play here? There is, but it's from Kentucky. The nasty flip reset goal out of Orcus.
The amount of speed that he had, the pace to get to that ball and get the flip reset first and foremost, and then the way he was able to utilize that to get enough on the shot to just beat any member of Post back was impressive. But now off the kickoff, you wanted to see Post and what they can create. They've been good off these kickoffs. They're not able to get one, not yet. 45 seconds left. Klowa flicks it past 2. and the demo freed up a little bit of extra space, but they weren't able to convert. But Post has still got them in an awkward spot, and Blitz, they'll take that every time. The rainbow will find its way to the back of the net.
I felt like Wedge Thunder was that like angel for Kentucky White that came out of nowhere, but then I don't know, like a gift from the heavens was also brought for Post with that ball just falling in the net. So blessings upon blessings here in the final minute of game number 4.
That's not who you want to see though. With possession is Orcus, who's been so effective, not only flashy but effective. But Blitz will be able to gain control right back here from Post University. A musty to push it past Orcus. And now they try to jump on it, but BigSpence was in the way. Wedge tries to find Orcus. That is a shot and a half, but it goes off the post. Holy cow, that was a ripper, but somehow stayed out. And with 10 seconds left now, you want to be able to just kind of hold on if you're Post, it feels like. Or does Blitz have other ideas? Will he keep this one up? He does originally. Off the corner it goes. Klowa off the corner opportunity, but Wedge Thunder able to get it out. It'll hit the ground, and Pyro, we go to overtime in game number 4.
Big overtime here. We know that Post are equipped to reverse sweep, but they don't want to have to do it at a 1-3 series line. Can they get this ball away from Usheri? Yes, Blitz lands on the rebound from the backboard. Follows up with the Cookser pinch. Orcas, the one player in flow state right now for Kentucky White, is the one to keep off that ball as they get a near ground pinch to take the ball across coast to coast on Champions Field. Blitz is going to follow up suit. We are going from one end to another, as you mentioned, Bearlight, where any team could score at a moment.
Well, had a great ideas there. Good flick though, but it was a little bit too hot to handle for a teammate for Kentucky. Now Blitz has their opportunity. They'll have numbers just temporarily though, as the demoed player right back on the pitch. This one will be Klowa to the corner. Chops at it to go high. BigSpence up in a hurry, but not quicker than Wedge, who was on the back wall, which will beat that player in the air every single time. Klowa's got to be careful in this instance. Last one back, and a missed touch here from Kentucky will free up some of that pressure that Post University might have been feeling. Now they have an opportunity of their own, but unfortunately the pinch off 2 members of Post, but not in the right direction.
Everything was right there from Klowa. Get the pass off as quick as you can. Problem is, the trajectory of your car followed the ball. How about this one from Blitz, though? High lob, forces 2. Here comes Klowa for the shot. Usheri clears to the half-court line. Post able to keep the possession for a moment, though. As Blitz, the ball's hit past them. BigSpence to the corner. Tries to find a way to a teammate. Orcas leaves it for Klowa, who wants to play it off the sidewall, but gives a little too much distance to get a shot off for it. Post University are just relentless right now on his possession, and at a certain point you'd think that Kentucky White would run out of resources, but again and again they find a way in front of the ball.
They have, and they found their way to the boost pads too without compromising any position too. The most important part, keeping them alive here. BigSpence, big game, and everywhere he needs to be in these moments. Time ticks down. But Blitz couldn't get it past midfield. This one's going to be difficult here, but Klowa is able to catch Wedge Thunder. If he puts it anywhere else in the net, I don't think that it's an easy save. So Post kind of lucked out on this one. They're still on it, by the way, but Blitz's shot going to be wide as well.
Yeah, at that point, that turned into a, uh-oh, can I save this from Klowa? To a, hold on, can I score this? Because it's right in my breadbasket. Cleared it all the way downfield, set up for this chance right here. As ball carries out to Blitz, finding Klowa off the corner, has the double set up, gets a touch on it, and bang! It doesn't get better than that!
Oh, baby! What a setup from Blitz, and then Klowa right back on it in the perfect position to slot that one top shelf. You love to see it. And the Eagles get the overtime winner in game number 4 to equalize here in the series.
Quick petition. I think that goal should count for 2 wins for Post Eagles. That's how unbelievable that goal was. What's so funny about that is game 1, we talked about it so much, how the Eagles set themselves up for just those counterattacks, and we were just missing these free balls. And it's like, okay, that's something to work on. That's something to improve as we continue in this series. I meant improve, Bearlight. I didn't mean get the goal of the year. So, holy moly, am I proud of Klowa right now. 900 points on that game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the record holder for the most goals in a semester, well, I know why. And everybody else who might be watching for the first time, they figured it out to hear Pyro. That was absolutely incredible. And Look, they're taking no time. They want to get right back into the pitch, so I don't blame them. Let's go. Let's get back to some great Rocket League Pyro. Let's go.
I'm into it. Here we go. Game number 5. What has been made very clear is that both teams are very capable of heading to the semifinals and being a top 4 contender in the ECAC. But what's going to separate them is their clutch performances. And Wedge Thunder, well, they've been good for some early goals. They're going to do it again here in Game 5.
Yeah, Wedge with all sorts of pace. And to get upside down on that play, underrated, because then you're able to just launch it towards the bottom side, because you know the defender's going to guess high too. You got to go back to Klowa in that moment, because there are so many times where you're up for that and you peel off because you think a defender is going to be able to get the touch, but you have to hold the line. Hold the line, trust yourself, and be able to do it. That's like 3 things happening in your brain. The fact that Klowa was able to get that done was great. But now Kentucky's got a little bit of an answer here, trying to kill the buzz, if you will, from Poe.
Yeah, Blitz had a decent look on that ball, but there's just been some giveaways right now from the post defense that I'm not a huge fan of. I think Kentucky White see that and have positioned around Post University's defense so as to punish them on those opportunities. So Post just have to be a little more careful about where they're clearing the ball, and carefully they will guide the ball in for their first goal.
BigSpence, literally called BigSpence for a reason. He loves to throw that car just all in your face. It feels like those days when you have that one player that was in the Merc and just constantly,
oh man,
not letting you get past at all. That's what BigSpence feels like right now as a big player. But Wedge Thunder's got a hat trick already. I mean, that's 45 seconds, 46 seconds technically, but my goodness, he's been great here in this game.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. I mean, sometimes somebody leans forward in their gamer chair and says enough is enough. I'm going to do it myself. They want to play hero, and Wedge Thunder, when put in the position, has been able to do that. But again, I have to ask more out of this post defense. A couple of these goals have just been savable. It requires a little more proactivity from them, but I think they've got it to hold on to this Game 6.
You already saw the focus dial in there as Blitz wasn't able to quite find Klowa, but it was the right idea to be able to jump to it in that moment. But now Yushera's this one right in the middle too, and Orcus is right place, right time again. If there is an ideal answer that Kentucky White needed, it was exactly what they've shown us in the first minute and 15 seconds. They've been to every ball. They've been beating post to boosts and ball, and being able to just be causing Post University kind of overthink in some moments defensively. It's not all on the unorganized play and defensively at Post, though I'd like to see that cleaned up a little bit. I still think there are moments that Kentucky has looked extremely strong as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like, the strength comes from the trust they have in each other. I mean, on that last play, everyone was out of boost committing to that play. That does speak a little bit to an overextension, but also just the trust they had to score a 4th goal so early in this game. You want to be able to disrupt a team that's so far in their rhythm, and with all the time on the clock, Post, you still got a chance to do it, and they nearly cut the lead in half with that shot.
Blitz has got to be on his way back. No boost in the tank. Klowa didn't either, but he timed it right to get that 100 boost. And Blitz was pulling the back boost in the meantime. So they'll have an advantage here, but BigSpence caught by surprise. Blitz, let him know he had plenty of time to work with, but unfortunately that time ran thin off the post. Another great opportunity there from Kentucky. They have looked clinical. Even when Post is trying to get that counterattack going, that's been shut down as well. Shera holds off from a challenge. Maybe waited a little bit too long as BigSpence dives onto it. Blitz right there as well, but he takes a shot. He would have had to part the Red Sea there. There was 3 members of Kentucky back, but look at that bump play. Yushera was good for the defense though, but Post on the doorstep now.
Oh, they're ready to crash through it at this point. How can you knock this door down when it seems like there's a barricade behind it? Something about this wall that Kentucky White had put up has been made so impossible to score on, and it's good on them because time is of the essence. They want to drain this clock as much as possible. Wedge Thunder with a long clear might just be able to do that. Great pass demo combination to try to clear the lane, but it wasn't enough for Kentucky White to score a 5th. You'd think 5th would confirm the win, and well, We're going to see it. The late bump on the goal line clears a huge path to score.
The decisions are made so much quicker, and it seems like every decision that Kentucky's making right now is get back onto ball as soon as possible, knowing that Post University is also diving pretty quickly, and if you can just beat them to the ball, you're finding these open opportunities, and that was another freebie, it felt like. Nothing completely free, but you catch my drift to be able to jump on that and challenge and maybe hold back a little bit, maybe play a little bit more patient. I think a lot of that big goal is good because it gets your confidence rolling from Klowa in the overtime winner. You have to be able to kind of balance that energy and get back into gameplay where you're not antsy and wanting to dive and create another big one off the bat constantly over and over again. So I'd like to see them settle down just a little bit more. With a minute 12 left, it does look like it might have been the dagger here unless Post can get one quickly, and they might have it here. He did until Orcas was able to shut it down.
Something about Orcas and again just being in such a rhythm that's hard to rock them out of has made this game difficult for Post. Wedge Thunder, as if 4 goals wasn't enough here. 4 for 5 at the moment, is going for a 5th goal individually. Cooks or Pinch could have even put that ball on target, but it's going to safely glide its way across the field. Post able to secure a save there, as well as Blitz's stop. It's up for Klowa, who has proved themselves a master of the skies, getting that wonderful last-second double tap to secure the win. But in this one, mechanics will be lackluster. Not enough chances for Post, as we'll see the formalities of game number 5 and get prepared for game 6.
You said it the last time that we saw Post University in action, ECAC, a couple weeks ago, and you said it best where it's just, Post University has to be able to learn from these moments. You're down 5-1, and you had about a minute left, and it wasn't going your way. And Kentucky will go to match point here at this point in time. What did you learn in that last minute of time? You may not win this game, and obviously now it's confirmed that you won't, but, match point against. What have you learned? Do or die time. Be able to put that into action pretty quickly. So that's what I was looking for Post University. Number 1, can you get a goal? If not, then what did you learn to be able to kind of work your way back into contention here? Because again, it won't have to be a reverse sweep. That's the good news, but you still have to win a couple in a row to get the job done here tonight.
That's right. Yeah, still definitely work to be done here. I think if I am the Post Eagles, I'm not looking to really uproot the whole strategy and change everything. If anything, I'm dictating this game as an outlier. I'm saying, okay, listen, the bad loss did happen, but this doesn't define us at all. Let's stick to our fundamentals. Let's play those defensive roles. Let's lock in on the rotation and the comms, and we're not going to concede 5 goals in a game. That's not going to normally happen for the Eagles. They've proven their worth, whether it's that mechanical double from the counterattack pass out of Blitz or BigSpence just being right place, right time at all times on offense. It's been that commitment. It's been that trust. Those are the values that are going to take Eagles over the line in this quarterfinals matchup.
Yeah, I totally agree. Got to get back to business. It's a one-off situation. Then go out and prove it as well. You're not going to see a hat trick go up from your opponent in the first 45 seconds all the time. Just somebody was heated on the other team. Just leave it to that. You focus on your game and less so what is happening across the pitch. And we'll see if they can get it done here. But Kentucky just one game away from being able to advance to the next round. Can Post fight them off here? This game starts now, and that one's looking pretty good here as Post will get on the board first already.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I'll tell you what, something about the Eagles with their back against the wall, how they respond, how they fly free of any resistance is so impressive, especially considering the start that Kentucky White got in the last game. This is a great indication for what's to come.
Exactly, because remember, it looked a lot like game number 1 where there was a wall that they could not get around last game. And then what did they do in game number 2? They broke through, they were resilient, and found solutions. And this team is very much problem solvers from A to Z. So I'd like to see that a little bit more here, as obviously a 1-0 lead isn't extremely comfortable. And already eyeballing another one as Klowa's right there as well. We'll bounce it past a member of Kentucky. And a bomb play as well. BigSpence almost trying to use some mechanics. That's not something you see very often, but he almost had it. But now you got to look out defensively, and Blitz does a good job to handle business.
It's like when Turbo Pulso would pull out the turbo flick. It's like, yeah, that's mechanical, I think, but it's so effective. And so is the demolition on the goal line. That really opened things up. Unfortunately, the shot ended up right off the backboard, not the ricochet Post was looking for. The Blitz mind is on the net. Two shot takers for the time, and one of them will land it.
Yeah, Klowa was just forcing the issue there in the corner, and then just a distraction, that's all. And I mean, there was little to no room to be able to put that ball to score, and he was able to manage that. So Blitz coming alive. He hasn't had very many goals in this series, basically at all. It's been a lot of Klowa, but Blitz looking to get back to it in a big way here. Speaking of BigSpence on it too. Post University not only gotten this 2-0 lead, well, they're getting a little bit antsy too. You don't want to push your own teammate out of the way, but at least you got the 2-0 lead here to hold on to. So despite that little trip up, they've been really good.
Yeah, there have been a little blips defensively as well, and they almost got bit for it. That was off of, I think it was Blitz. Yeah, ended up just putting it in reverse and trying to rotate ball side with the team and doubling up. I understand. I mean, Blitz wants to be the front runner of this team, wants to be the first to the ball at all times. But if you're stepping on teammates' toes, you may get beat on the counterattack, and that's what we just barely didn't see happen against Post Eagles. Fortunately for them, after 2 minutes, they've still got that 2-goal lead. They might turn it to 3. Great shot from Blitz, gets saved by Usheri.
Now they've got a demo out in front as well, but couldn't quite get that flick off the way they wanted to. And BigSpence was able to challenge Orcus. At least if you're Wedge Thunder. Patrick in the last one. Good tap down there too. What a passing play. But BigSpence strong and has an answer for that defensive sequence. And a demo there. Whoa, allowing the team to get right back to work for Post University. They're throwing the same physicality attempts out there, Pyro, but Kentucky hasn't been able to land them. And right now, in my opinion, that's been the difference.
Listen, it comes down to execution sometimes, and ooh, for Blitz, he's gonna have to get out of the bump and make the save. That's what I'm talking about when it comes down to execution and presence of mind as well. You gotta make these split-second decisions. This one from Blitz is perfect. Gets it around the post. I know I talked about them being on the ball maybe too much, but now it might not be enough as he's making every big play on the defensive side, along with the post as well. The post on the other side. It's all post all day, whether it's the cars or the woodwork.
And now we're just trying to turn as well. I mean, they hit like 4 posts, I'm pretty sure, in that sequence alone. They were all over the net, but post kept them at bay long enough. And also, more importantly, maybe, even than that, Pyros, they killed a lot of time. And no goals to show for Kentucky. Holding them at an arm's length, at least this far. But Blitz kind of took an opportunity away from BigSpence. I think he was trying to keep possession, but ultimately gave it away to Kentucky White. But Klowa, big, strong arm play. That one might go. It does. Making a 3-0 lead here for Post.
Now we're talking. What perseverance out of Post. All those saves made. All those responses made. I'm just amazed by this team right now. To have the grit and then the pushback to land a 3rd goal. Again, back against the wall for this team. This isn't just a match lost if they concede game 6. This is a tournament. This is a league completed. Top 4 still on the line in this match, and Post can finally get sight of the finish line.
BigSpence on target, kills more time. Wedge Thunder on this too. Kentucky not counting out this game 6 quite yet, and you can tell by the way they continue to dive and try to find pathways, but they've been shut down. They've been gated off since the get-go here in this game, as Post has been nearly perfect when it comes to being able to defend, shots, that is. They tripped over one another, but they never really did show that weakness. They were able to kind of bail themselves out in big ways here in this game. So, you like that opportunistic nature. You like the fact that they came off a big loss and was able to find a big win of their own to kind of send us packing. Bags packed here, because Pyro, just like a couple of weeks ago, we're going to see it again here. We're going to see it again. Maybe not in the reverse sweep need fashion, but in a way that leads us, as all roads do, to a game number 7 inbound here between Post University and Kentucky. Get geared, locked and loaded. Game 7 inbound.
Oh boy, boy, Post University, you have done it again. The Eagles are going to game number 7 against the University of Kentucky White. What a journey it has been just in the fall semester, Bearlight, for this team to fight back. It's been several leagues of competition. This team has gone through the gauntlet and improved so much, even just over the course of a semester, that it's only right for them to bear all arms, for them to get all the tools out of the kit at the very end of this semester in the ECAC and fight to the bitter end. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in this game 7, Bearlight? All I can say at this point is I'm proud of the fact that they have made it here. What a showing from this team.
Yeah, the obstacles they had to kind of hop over in order to get here. A 5-2 season isn't perfect, but it was a strong one regardless, and they didn't get the seeding they wanted to either. Imagine going 5-2 and being the number 8 seed walking into the playoffs. Like, that is crazy to me. You had a great season. Those cards were stacked against you. You still get through. And then on the very next round, number 8 versus number 9, sure, you have a slight advantage. But all cards were stacked up when they took that 3-0 lead against, and Post had to turn it around. They're able to do it then. But listen, you stick in the series, you force a game 7, but there's only one way that you are truly satisfied at the end of the day. I want to see that hunger holding into game number 7, see if it translates in, because we're about to go game side. Game number 7, Pyro, is underway right now. Let's get it, Post. And Kentucky.
Show us what you got, Eagles. Oh, this is it right here. 5 minutes on the clock. Champions Field, the bright lights, and the toughest of pressure. We get to find out if it's going to make another diamond out of Post here, Bear.
Well, that's a great play. They could not quite finish it. Blitz in an awkward spot. We'll see if Post can be up to the pressure. They typically are. They perform really well in game number 7s over the course of the season, no matter what league they've been in. Those high-pressure situations have been good, but you want to keep that same trend. You see Klowa already finding Blitz with it. Back wall, a chance with boost. Oh, a double touch again. So clean are the Eagles, and a 1-0 lead in game 7.
Do it with finesse, Blitz. What a maneuver. And he compliments himself on the pass, or at least I like to think so. It was a great effort from Post holistically, but when these players need to play hero, boy, do they do it.
And Blitz right to it as well. The next challenge in the bag. Here's BigSpence pressing into the box too. Klowa was there, but Blitz did a great job of staying patient, reading that play, and then getting up when they needed a challenge as well. BigSpence, not sure how much boost is in the tank. Good speed shown. Kentucky strikes right back.
BigSpence from the goal line saying, listen, this is all I got, okay? I've rotated perfectly. I'm in position to save this shot as long as it's not high enough, and yeah, right over the head. Some games, some plays, Bearlight, you can put all you got on the field, and it's just not enough.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to keep rolling, trust the process here at this point. And BigSpence will launch it high, waiting for a teammate to come around. Blitz certainly thought that Kentucky was going to be there a little bit quicker. It's going through his brain. Now this will be up high. Blitz seeing that touch, gets it, but it's actually away from a member of Post, but Klowa is on it. No problem, he says. We'll fall back down. Klowa's in the right spot. Blitz, no boost. Doesn't matter, still pressing in the box, but doesn't find any value, at least not yet. As Wedge Thunder, Ujera, both in the same spot, trying to occupy that moment. It might make it a little bit too awkward here as Post continues this offensive presence that's been going on for the past minute or so.
Yeah, what you like to see, BigSpence. That's another tough ball, though. Had 0 boost on the play and just wasn't really able to make the ball touch that was necessary. Oh, and any save against Orcas is going to be a good look for Post University. Those plays after a lot of pressure, sometimes scary on the counterattack. And, well, counterattack's pretty much the only thing you could describe as to what's going on right now. This ball is traveling coast to coast, one time after the other. BigSpence trying to give them some relief, but now it's just Blitz on the back wall. Klowa able to intercept and at least give some breathing room to Post.
Underrated bump opportunity there from Wedge Thunder that didn't go, but Blitz was able to kind of maneuver himself in a way that got past that challenge, and now he'll play inwards. Now he's got Blitz on the back burner. This one's going to fall all the way back to Klowa, who's just going to catch it, realizes he has time, and another great decision made in an instant here by Post University. Well, the BigSpence and Klowa collide. It'll be up to Blitz to try and make a save. He got a little bit ahead of himself, but still able to make that touch, and Blitz will relieve a little bit of the pressure, and Klowa was looking at an open net, but a good shutdown on the other side by Kentucky.
BigSpence going for that same kind of idea, the shutdown against Sherry to get that free ball on the sidewall. I think the presence of mind from these Post Eagles players to say, danger, danger, get this solo play out of the way has been great. Look at the presence of mind as well to set up a big play. Klowa unfortunately pinches it off the back wall, making that ball unscorable. An opening that could have been really tasty for the Eagles.
A Blitz in an awkward spot, but he got 100 boosts to his name. Able to circle around and get a touch off that back wall. Wedge Thunder being challenged by BigSpence. Good bump there, but Orca's in his place. Klowa still challenges this one. Ushera able to get it all the way the length of the pitch, and much needed relieved pressure here from Kentucky. But Blitz was right back on it too. Good touch by Ushera. It's gonna force BigSpence up, who can't get the touch, but Blitz is able to do enough to try to get it over to the corner. Klowa finally. The cavalry will circle around for Post, but still not in a great place. But Blitz, even with no boost, will get it out to center. But Post can't breathe, at least not yet.
No, they can't even take time to get that quarter boost. It's been glowing there for a while. Finally, that changes. BigSpence goes for a bump play on Usheri, but they evade it, and they weren't expecting the pass to come through because of it. All the layers of the defense, but no one was able to permit the ball from going in front of the face of the net, but still, the shot taker not there from Post. This has been a team that is committed to the score, committed to the goal so many times, but right now they're seeming a little sheepish, like they don't want to lunge in for that final play. And you know what? Fair enough. 30 seconds left, tied up. Everything on the line.
And BigSpence will get that 100 boost, and now it's a good punch down by Klowa. Blitz will play to it as well. Klowa quick on it, even though he had no boost. Should be able to get the mid boost here as Orcas takes his time. Has plenty of time to work with, but Blitz will punch it right down. Water falls down. Ushera, right place to be able to cycle around and get to it. 8 seconds left. They push towards the box, the double touch, but it's gonna be wide. And now Wedge Thunder back on it as well. BigSpence trying to fight off Orcas as Klowa just tries to do anything he can with it to cut it down. Ushera back to the center, but they're not able to find the goal. Overtime, game number 7 inbound.
One goal decides top 4 berth in ECAC. Post University, big shot the other way, saved by Wedge Thunder. He won't allow it quite yet, but BigSpence, right place, right time. That's been him all along, all season. Does get the formidable stop on the midfield to keep this attack going. Klowa's gonna hit off the backboard. BigSpence has an attempt for the shot. It gets dunked its way to the corner. Under fire now are Kentucky White. Can Blitz get the 50 towards the net? No, Klowa has to rotate back around to try to get a grasp on this ball. Post continuing their possession. Flip reset BigSpence to follow, but it's just too far out of reach for them to score.
BigSpence back pass here. Wedge Thunder's got an opportunity to shoot one on net, but he played it well high, and Blitz was able to get the read, try to get the second touch, and it froze Ushera for a second, but Orcas right back to it. Shot taken off the back wall. Follow-up is there from Wedge, and they will punch it through. Kentucky White will hold their heads high as they're able to get the overtime winner from a beautiful feed from Orcas, finished by Wedge Deep.
When you look at Orcas like that, flying through the air, setting up a lovely aerial assist, you gotta be sweating, because you know that is the player that has been making incredible plays all night long for Kentucky White, and of course the player to seal the deal with Wedge Thunder, who had been putting up the goals all night long. As we said, Bearlight, this team knows nothing but fight. No surprise to see Post University in Game 7 overtime, working all the way to claw and nail their win through, but man, in OT, Bearlight, it just gets away from them.
That's so close. I mean, at that point in time, you got to give claps all around to this lobby. What a show again that we found ourselves in. And just like you want to look for your star players in those big moments, Kentucky was able to do exactly that. I mean, how good was Orcas at the end of the day throughout this entire series? Even in the games where Kentucky struggled, he was finding ways to pressure Post and make them never feel comfortable, not for even 1 second.
Yeah, listen, when you bring that kind of mechanical just talent to the page, to the field, it creates this uncomfortability of the defense. It makes you question, how do I need to play this? How quickly is Orca's going to get a reset? Are they going to get an extra flip off the ceiling? Are they just going to go for the double tap just to pass the ball to a teammate? Those are some of the most effective plays at this stage in the game of Rocket League. And so it does make sense that Orca's created that environment for this team to win. That being said, Bearlight, I can't end this cast without calling out the fact that we just saw some of the best Rocket League plays in such a high pressure scenario that I've ever seen just from Post University tonight. The double taps that we got out of Klowa and Blitz, I mean, I'm still speechless thinking about those goals. Ooh.
It was incredible, dude. Klowa, Blitz, both just popping off in those moments is not possible without the way that BigSpence was playing, holding down the back line. To have that confidence to go up was unbelievable. I mean, definitely highlights for days. And obviously, you know, it's not the way that you want to go down in the playoffs by any means. Sometimes it's just the way it goes, unfortunately. But PyroJ, Bearlight here with you for the post-university run for ECAC playoffs. We actually have ECAC Madden 26 playoffs happening right now as we speak on the post-university 2 channel. They're on the Bearlight back screen, but we'll send it over their way anyways. So that way you can stick around and see more ECAC playoff action here at Post University. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, PyroJ, Bearlight, we'll see ya.